Hello. Welcome, everybody, to Old Gray Bricks. So glad to have everybody here. We have some old friends, new friends here. New friends to the show, old friends in the hobby and everything. Welcome, everybody. And it's great to be back. We were talking about, I haven't been on the show in like a dang month. So, everything. But these guys have done a great job running the show and taking care of business. Grumpy J is here in the chat. And everything. So I am now in post convention FOMO because I am the only one here in this group who was not at Brick World, and I'm still feeling it. Yeah. Hey, Double King, Cam Peacock, good to have y'all here. And so I'm in post FOMO, so I'm going to live vicariously through y'all's experience and everything. As we talk tonight, but I'm excited that you're here. Excited everybody's here. Yeah, I see your swag, Sandlin. I don't have one of those either. No one brought me anything pretty. I'm just saying.
I'll bring some to Atlanta, okay?
Oh, yeah. Breaking news. Can we just go ahead and say it? Can we just go ahead and say, I do have, our Canadian friend sent that via you, but he thought of it.
I have a small one.
I sent Ben.
To be fair, I had a lot of
and our co-Julian sent me something.
So not just Jeff. Simon brought a lot of coffee crisps too, except someone just ate them all.
It wasn't me.
You ate most of them.
Simon mailed me some before the show too, and I think it was like 3 packs, and I think I literally ate them all in one day.
But I want to quickly see, because I know that Chris is still dealing with post Brick World FOMO. But are the rest of us still having post Brick World depression? Are you still feeling that the real world just cannot compete with the endorphins that Brick World creates?
Absolutely. Like, I still have a bit of the con crud, and I've been like dragging my feet on the final thank you post because when you do that, it's like that's the end. That's really the closing.
And post Brick World depression is real. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is. Especially if you bring back a bad cold. I think when Traveling was saying last year, I took one there, and it was a couple of miserable nights waking up with that. But coming back with con crud, that doesn't help your mood because you're worn out. You're kind of creatively spent. I think maybe my first convention, I came back more charged to build. But every con I come back from, it's like a month before I feel like really getting down to the bricks.
So, like, for me, it's actually normally when I come back, I'm very gung-ho and ready to go. It's just creatively so many ideas. Because I know, like, the first people that throw out the collab ideas, they kind of stick. And I'm not joking, it's a week later, and there's like 3 or 4 collabs that we're in, and we're always talking about all these new sectors and all these other things. It's like, it's definitely, I've always found it very creative, and especially because I drive back. That drive, because I'm normally driving, I need to keep myself occupied. So it's like all this churning of ideas and concepts and all the things that we saw. What can we do? What can we do better? How can we make next year even crazier? Except we're not making next year crazier. Way lower.
I had 6 hours of cube talk.
We cannot be responsible for who you're married to. I'm just that's
cube talk.
I saw that, Meredith. I saw your comments about Brian on the recap show talking. Well, he's already built like 44 cube frames in his big
That's crazy. Stay-at-home dad powers.
Well, it's been interrupted because unfortunately the YMCA thought it would be great to have kids out from 1 to 3 o'clock when the UV index was 95 degrees with no suntan lotion on. So
I've been at the beach though with my family this last week, so chilling at the beach was not a bad way to.
Well, I remember that first con. This is 20 years ago. My wife and I we vacationed after, and it was more of a getting to sit back and drink it in and be ready to build. If you have to go to work the next day after being at convention, reality kind of gives you a double kick, and where it hurts and everything. I want to know what the sports ball is. Is that a thing? I mean, I know the reference.
Hold on. I'll pull up the gallery. You all keep talking. I'll pull up the gallery.
Balls.
So I'm gonna miss all the in jokes. You guys have got to explain all the in jokes and everything. I can spoil today's Star Trek. Brave, if you want me to. I just finished.
No,
Really
I have
good.
not watched it yet.
What you need to not spoil is the Silo episode, which I am thoroughly enjoying.
Oh, let's keep it spoiler free, and let's talk about I guess Stefan, what is Sports Balls?
Sports Balls is a special place you can visit in New Hashima, Sector 2. But Cecile built it, right?
Cecilia.
Cecilia built it.
1 second.
From Norway, the sports center. It's like an indoor sports arena called
Are you stealing
Sports
it?
Balls, obviously. Very appropriately facing that ball sign straight out the crowd.
I did not even see that in person. I mean, I'm sure there's a million things I didn't see staring at in person.
There's definitely a snippet. Our guy who was in the filming, Taylor.
Oh, you should bring that clip up. That's worth watching.
What that cube was, because really the public it's hard to see sports that's on the other side of the cube, so it looks like it just says balls. So
that's the gay club. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we had
So in honor of me having testicular cancer, can I make a doctor's office that just says ball on it with that next door? Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Dr.
Okay.
Ball. Dr. Ball. Dr. Ball.
Yeah, but Sports Balls it's a fabulous cube that came all the way from Norway, part of Sector 2 by Cecilia.
That's awesome.
And New Hashima's demon's favorite.
I was gonna say one of 4 female contributors. So.
Yeah.
And she's the one who.
I will say, looking at the thing from afar, I saw the word balls every time that somebody had a picture. I'm like, what does it say balls?
And the reality is that it makes complete sense that is what you would fixate on as you saw
like,
this entire glorious thing.
I'm offended by the plural. What can I say?
It was facing straight out in big yellow letters. Balls.
But for whatever reason,
my personal favorite cube on the whole city. So.
Ooh, that's saying a lot. I don't think I can. I don't know if I can.
Man,
pick a favorite.
it's definitely in the running.
It's that no, absolutely definitely in the running.
I have a lot of favorites.
Well, that's it. But Chris, essentially became a literal rallying cry the entire weekend, when it was like instead of like cheers or like smiles or just randomly, we just call it sports ball. And
of course, I was getting confused and I was just yelling space balls in the YouTube, the interview. At the end, I say space balls.
So now the challenge, that whole wall is going to be a ball reference in every storefront or whatever that is.
Exactly. We're going to have to get what's his name? Lone Star, I think, from Spaceballs. We need a Lone Star mini wandering around.
You just need one thing that says Schwartz on it, and
grape jam store or something. I can't remember.
I was going to say strawberry. Only Lone Star jams me with strawberries.
Raspberry.
Yeah. It's like leaking through the TV. Anyway, I can talk Mel Brooks all day. I love Mel Brooks.
Oh gosh, so funny. All right, so let's do a quick spin through our folks who are here. I sent Van Winden a thing, I think, but he may be busy. I'm not sure. If he pops in, I'll make sure he gets in with that. Let's start with Matthew. You're at the bottom there. Tell us what's going on in your world really quick.
I'll save it for Thursday. I'm just sorting.
Today is Thursday.
I bought a few things, but
Thursday.
I want our guests to have more time. So I'll kick it to next time.
Okay, he punted. All right, good deal. Meredith, what's up in your world?
I am still sorting the dots that Natalie had dropped before Brick World.
I don't know if I know that story.
She just dropped a huge bin of sorted like dots and other things, and it went everywhere. And I said, "Screw it, we'll figure it out later." And I'm still. This has probably been about 8 hours of resorting. Thank you, child. So.
But it's a calming sorting.
Not really. I prefer not to. Oh, that's what Brian's here. He's my sorter, so I love him dearly.
It's not
Cube create. cube creator and sorter.
And carpenter, he built the.
And carpenter and electrical engineer.
You're not going to be able to afford him going back to work.
I know.
He gets some 3D modeling too for us.
And he hosts great play dates.
Can I have a play date with Brian?
Get in line.
He will make you fresh Terra boba smoothies if you come over for a play date.
I'm not even sure what that means, but now I want one.
Taro, it's
Is that a euphemism? I don't
know. I'm still fine with it, even if it's a euphemism. I'm now intrigued.
It's like it's almost like a strain of sweet potatoes. It's an Asian potato root vegetable.
It's what the people on Easter Island ate before modern stuff.
And it's very sweet. And now a lot of bubble tea places will make you a smoothie, which is pretty much vanilla ice cream and some dried taro and sugar, and then they'll put boba in it, and it's really awesome. And we have we have frozen tapioca. We have the whole kit now, and everyone comes over. All of our play dates are like, Mr. Brian, can you make us taro smoothies with boba on it? And what can I say? He's pretty refined in the play date scene here.
I find it interesting that they refer to him as Mr. Brian because Bell is just an even easier name to say than Brian, but it's still Mr. Brian.
Southern thing. Usually in the South, people address the adults as Mr. Miss first name.
Well, I just prefer children to refer to me as Mr. Dana because saying Mr. Knutson is difficult even for me to say. So,
I'm Mr. Matt or Professor Matt to a lot of the kids whose parents I know.
Anyways, where were we? What were we talking about?
You were sorting dots.
I'm sorting the dots my daughter dropped. So
Okay. Good. All right, Stanlin, how are you and Small Paul today?
We're doing all right. He's full of it, but doing pretty good. I actually just opened up the Meow Mech that Moto gave me, so I was
Spoilers.
looking through the stuff. Yeah, I already unboxed this and made a video and everything. So
Yeah, I saw it. You spoiled it.
Earlier that someone said I should build a cyberpunk dragon.
Yes, you should build a cyberpunk dragon.
with someone riding it, like it's a mecha. Uh-oh, I can't say mecha. I said it. It can't happen now. I'm sorry.
Do we have to pay a quarter?
I think it would be like
Connor's not watching. It's fine.
Okay.
half robot and like half dragon. Would that be cool?
Cyber robot or
cyborg dragon.
Cyborg dragon.
Yes.
You could have a dragon pet shop, you know, that kind of thing. So
actually, with the new dragons that come in the new Ninjago, the little tiny dragons, that would be a cool dragon shop.
With it being cyberpunk, couldn't you have something like a Godzilla food shop or something?
Oh, I love that baby dragon from the show. It is a
dragon. That is that. Yeah, I assume then, Chris, you got the motor mech.
Jake did, I think. Yeah. He's got money for graduating, so you know he's spending it and everything. Yeah.
On the good stuff.
Like father, like son.
Already.
Yeah, July is the month of paying for Brick World, so probably won't be buying any Lego for the near future.
Understood. Let me just go ahead and highlight this with the group. This Justin Harvey had been active for 10 years. Anybody know what happened to Keith Goldman? It has been a while since I talked to Goldman, and usually the only way to get him was through like Flickr Messenger, which means he was pretty much cut off. But anyway, you would send him a Flickr mail and maybe get one back. And I think he's still creative and doing things, but he's kind of let the Lego thing drop. But some of Goldman lives in New Hashima, I would think. I think there's some early influence there. Maybe we can talk about that.
Not even that. There's literally some of Goldman or Goldman collabs in there. So the original Cyber City that was like Andrew Lee's crew, I forget what they used to call themselves back then, in like 2010 10, something like that. Some of those vehicles that was on that layout, as well as some of the vehicles that were on Goldman's Highway Zero Dawn or whatever it was, made it to the layout. So like Andrew Lee, Jeff Cross, Zach, and Brendan and Bram, that kind of hi Brian. That crew sent a lot of those vehicles to Chicago, and we put it on the display. So like we had some of those original ones from years.
I think
show off.
Carter told me that this was one of those. I can't remember the story exactly, but boom, there it is.
I think that was from the highway, whatever the highway scene was, where they're evacuating.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Carter didn't give me anything.
Sorry, he likes me better.
That's true.
Carter handed Small Paul a huge bag of brick arms.
Nice.
Yeah, that's like $600 of brick arms or something crazy like that, right? I mean,
300.
300? Wow. I thought you were gonna like make a bunch of figs. Where are the figs? Why are they still in the bag?
Small Paul, we need figs for new Hashima. ABC. Get going.
I got your back.
Okay.
Let's go.
Paul has spoken.
Dana, what's up, man? How are you?
So, like Mark, I wasn't going to be doing a whole lot of Lego buying for a while. Famous last words. Yeah, I think. Yeah, between the Target and Walmart hauls that I did the last couple of days, and then today I got a little bird told me that there was new Pick-a-Brick at the Lego store, and so $75 later, I walked out with 5 cups, and now I'm actually sorting the last little bit of chunder that I was using for filler. But for you new Hashima fans, blue girders.
Ooh.
I'm all excited about that. There were blue girders on the wall.
Oh, no way.
Why didn't I get a text about this?
I was too busy, excited by what I was finding on the wall.
Matt, I made the same comment.
And what did I tell you,
He was
Meredith?
hoarding. You could just say you're hoarding.
How
I was
many
too busy.
times have I gotten cups for you at Sugarloaf?
So here's the thing, and here's the reality of everything. And this is actually why I stopped texting and doing this, because the odds are tomorrow, and actually I've even already gotten confirmation from Emily, tomorrow North Point or Sugarloaf will have the exact same 60 or close to the same 60 parts that North Point had today. So Matthew, you can go to Sugarloaf tomorrow and have your free pickings of what's available.
Sweet.
And so that's the thing. I've also been getting reports from people across social media that, their Lego stores were getting some things today. Some people knew that they were getting them tomorrow. So check your Lego store, your certified Lego stores tomorrow for updated Pick-a-Brick stuff. They got my store, our store, local one, 60 new pieces. There were white lampposts in there that I didn't get. There were nougat masonry bricks. I got a whole cup of white masonry bricks. They even had yellow slides, which I didn't even want to start playing with because I think you fit one of those in a cup. Nougat love.
Nougats.
But yeah, so I'm sitting and putting parts away that I probably should not have bought. That's my story for today.
Wow, that's. Do we think that's a hint that the American whatever that distribution thing in Virginia is up and running and going to start pumping us new bricks or what?
No, I think this was just the long overdue third or second quarter that should have happened months ago is finally catching up. Because I mean, even they like at Brick World, and I'm trying to drop Brick World as much as possible just to create more FOMO for you. Everybody who went into the Lego store at close by was complaining because they had nothing new on the Pick-a-Brick wall that any of the other stores didn't have either. So it was kind of like a.
But did they at least have a lot of good stuff that was historically there? Because I know it used to be they would like essentially ensure and keep stock for Chicago because they knew that Chicago's huge. A-Falls from around the world would come. So like they've historically like kept boxes in anticipation.
They did, but people were like, I already got most. I mean, when I say that, that doesn't mean that there weren't AFOLs who were probably like, oh yeah, no, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
But the more prolific AFOL who's used to going and finding newer things didn't find anything new. So
I wonder, we had new. Just a side note for Atlanta Brick Convention, and they got a payload at Sugarloaf. I wonder how well that sold.
Oh, I'm sure it sold well.
I can answer that. They did crazy business the weekend of Atlanta BrickCon, and they got in a refresher order. I was talking to the manager, and she's like, "We sold it all." She's like, "All the refresher stuff that we got." She's like, "It flew out the door." So that's straight from the people that work.
From Linda.
Straight from Melinda's mouth, hey.
Yep.
Yeah, oh no! Don't say her name. I'll get a phone call.
Oh,
literally,
yeah, that's true.
A phone call. You're not.
It's Voldemort. It's thou who should not be named.
I love you, not Linda.
Tell her to call me. She likes me.
She literally.
I worked with her brother.
After I posted something on social media that she had told me at the store, and I was like asking for the lug, and I had to take it down because she was upset with it. So.
Okay, all right. If she's mad at me, I'll talk to her. It's fine. That's fine. It's all fine. But Dana, was there anything else you were talking about? You broke your fast and you bought Lego and
yeah, and then actually, since you mentioned Atlanta BrickCon, I did finally stop at Atlanta Brick Company with the $100 gift card that Van Winden won, and I gave him $100 for because he's like, well, I don't think I'll get to Atlanta Brick Company. And so one of the things I picked up was this nice little insectoid set.
Okay, there's nothing nice about an insectoid set. That's
you know what? I hear a lot of shade, but I think this is a cool set. I'm looking forward to sitting down.
Shame on you.
Wait, shame on me? No,
I love insectoids.
Terrible. Oh, that's right. You're a kid. I forget.
Yeah, I still have the thing, and it still works. I put batteries in it not too long ago.
See,
the little cricket sounding stupid. Yeah, I got it.
You watch your mouth. I loved insectoids. Maybe it was a trash space theme, but it was my trash space theme.
Exactly.
Hey, I have almost the entire line of Ice Planet out there too, so I respect good space themes too. Traditionally good ones.
Like AIDS, that's terrible. I don't know what that means.
you got to have a bad theme.
Ice Planet. I have Ice Planet.
Yeah.
No. It was the end. It was the death nail of all things. We didn't have good space for like decades after insectoids. So,
yeah.
And those magnets kill kids. Come on, we can't have that. It's just,
Squad.
There was some cool stuff that came out of that.
I gotta say, I like the helmets, the armor, the figures are awesome. I mean, say what you will about the sets, but those figures
the
are cool.
printed parts are cool. Michael Wilhoit used them to make this really cool sign on his building that had the printed like wings with the like circuitry and stuff in them. It's really
those wings are awesome. I just wish that they had made them so that they flexed in multiple directions and not just one direction. But
yeah,
I'm nitpicking.
All right, let's introduce our new guest today. Actually, Simon has been on before, but the treadmill beavers weren't working well on the internet in Canada that day.
Did we try? I don't remember. Yeah,
it was when John Palmer emerged from his hole.
Oh, so it was around the pandemic time.
Yeah.
So what's funny is I've actually upgraded my internet like partway through because I need to work from home and I can't have the potato internet. So hi, how's it going? In terms of what I'm working on, I'm packing up a bunch of sets or for a workshop I'm doing in Bricks and the Six, which is in 3 weeks. I'm doing a how to build a mech workshop. So I having like 50 odd kits so that people that sit down can play with some bits and actually build along with me to see how I kind of build some mechs and things. So there's still time to register if anyone wants to come.
Awesome.
Make sure you have a passport.
I'll be there in 2024.
2024. Stefan, I believe, is also semi-promised to come. Yes, no.
Connor is here, so he heard Mac, and then boom, there it is. So awesome. Simon, really quick, just tell us how long you've been in the hobby and all that kind of thing. Just
okay. I've been in the hobby, I guess like now 12 years. Like in terms of actual mechs. No. So there's no mechs in New Hashima that are taller than 2 minifigs. I didn't say there's no mechs, period. It's taller than a certain size. Anyways, I've been in the community for quite a while. Always been kind of like a fan of Lego. Like went in my dark ages, and it was around university time where I had a weird exam schedule where I had like 4 exams in the first 4 days, 10 days off before the last exam in the last possible day. So like I had nothing better to do, and we ended up at a Toys R Us, which we still have in Canada because we are normal. And I saw Star Wars Lego. I'm like, I need something to do. Can't get drunk every night. And I bought that. It was like oh my God, I forgot how much fun Lego was. And then since then, it's been like kind of just getting back into it. And the first convention I went to, like the first big convention, was Brick World, which is, despite being 8 hours away from me, it feels like my home convention. But like ever since then, really I can't go back. It's just like a way of life. And I've always said that even if for whatever reason, like Keith Goldman, if I'm not really into Lego, I still probably would make that like a yearly trek, and I just Abner it up and like hang out and chill with all the Lego fans that I've made over the years.
Cool. All right. I'm trying to remember. I met you in like 2010, 2011, somewhere around there, I think so.
2014 Brick Fair, Virginia.
Yeah, 13, was it 14?
13, yeah. 14. I don't one of those. I remember, like, I still vividly remember Professor Time with Mr. Chris, where we were at the random like the bins where you just pick random parts and fits in the bag, and you were showing me like this old bushel, the old gray one has all the ridges versus the new one, and like all like the oh, this piece is good for this. Like I vividly remember sitting on that floor with you, picking through like these giant bins of loose parts, exactly, and just showing me all the cool stuff that I didn't know.
And we do have another show coming on later in the season called This Old Bushel. So that'll be our other program. Yeah, that was a good time. That was super, super cool. I remember that too. All right, Stefan, how are you? Your time in the sun. Welcome. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Stefan. And that's about it.
Sweet. Great.
I don't know. I mean, you want to know my history in the AFOL community?
Sure. There you go.
I live in Alabama. We'll start with that. I'm a castle builder.
Here's a quick question. I thought all AFOLs in Alabama have to say, "I am name of Alabama." Like I am Martin from Alabama. So,
from Alabama.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. I don't know. I started as a castle builder in like. Gosh,
I'm glad you changed.
And yeah. I used to like read articles and stuff on classiccastle.com, if anybody knows that site. And that's how I was like introduced to the online Lego community. I think I was like building with my Lego toys from like the attic that my mom saved, and I like just Googled like Lego castles and found that site, and that's how I like joined the AFO community, because I found classiccastle.com and I would read the articles about how to build castles, and I built only like basically exclusively castle for like the longest time, almost all the way up until I started New Hashima 4 years ago. So it was like 10 years of just castle building till I started New Hashima. I would dabble in like sci-fi stuff because I would see that kind of stuff online and always like wanted to build it, but I just like, I don't know, I got castles, I guess, so I just did that. But yeah, and here I am, helping to lead Hashima.
Famous castle builder. That's what everybody knows you for.
Yeah, famous castle builder. I did one time win that classiccastle.com did the Colossal Castle contest, and I won Best Castle. I can't even remember what year it was.
Someone, I got fact check this. Someone.
It was called, if one of the Ericksons was here, they could probably tell us what year it was.
Life on Lake Obscurus Aqua, which was like Lake Darkwater. I also like, I remember I edited the photos because you could post like 3 photos as your entry, and I edited them with this like parchment background, And that actually kind of caught on when I did that. After I did that,
2011
Trendsetter.
yeah, 2011.
Classic Castle
Virus?
IX 9.
9, yeah, best castle.
Woo!
So that's my real triumph in the Lego community. Best castle for classic castle contest.
Nothing you want at Brick World, man. It's all about this classic castle war from 2000.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I sent you the link. Pull it up.
I got a very yellowed old like Legoland castle set as the prize. I remember getting it in the mail and being like, why did they even give this to me?
Hey, wait, hold on. As someone who has run many contests, it's not easy to get prizes. And like nowadays, it's funny. It's like the cost of shipping the prizes, like outweighs the prize itself. There's times where like I'll just give you twice the cash value, or do you want this little thing?
I'm gonna see if I can pull up the figs that I have. I think I kept them in the Ziploc they gave in. But anyway, yeah, castle.
No, wait. Do you want to talk us through your cyber castle?
Yeah, here it is.
Ooh, it's pretty nice. I gotta say.
Yeah, look at the third picture. I built like full interiors on the thing too. Yeah,
Interior, you hear that, right?
Who cares about interior?
I had a power functions thing in there that the guy like rang the bell.
I could see a cyberpunk castle mashup in your future.
Yeah. I was really proud of this castle.
You should be. It's good.
Oh, video.
Oh Lord, I think I may have thrown away.
Look at that part.
Yeah, look at this. Here we go. This is
It's like a baby cube.
Yeah, and see the little guy rang the bell.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, is he
The bell is
hanging
pulling him
himself? What's
up
going
as he
on?
brings it down.
No, you see, there's the little bell is up there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Because the weight of the bell lifts him up, and so he pulls it back down again. That's good.
Yeah, so the weight of the rope isn't really right? Because it wouldn't do that. But yeah.
illusion ruined. Do it again.
What a video. Oh my God.
And how old were you when you built this one?
I guess when did you say I won this contest? 2011.
2011, I guess.
Had just turned 21 in October.
Okay, so you weren't like a little kid.
No.
Are you implying that's a little kid's castle, sir?
No, I was just trying to
Professor Matt?
Yeah, no, I was 6 when I
The
built
Fawn
that.
looked so young that I just assumed, he was practically an infant when he built it.
No, I didn't start as like an AFOL until I was like 18. That's when I was like 17 or 18 when I like did the Googling and found that site to start building castles. I would always build, like I went through a dark ages obviously in like high school, but it's like every 6 months or so I'd pull the stuff out of the like closet and build something in my room. But I didn't really know there was like this big community like of adults who did it until I decided to search for it.
Well, don't feel
The
too
internet
bad
calls.
because it took me till 2014 to realize that there was an adult community in Lego. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a question for another day because I saw a picture you posted, Dana, of you at Lego Fan Fest or whatever, the thing through Atlanta.
yeah. That
Were
was
you
9,
in-
and that was 9 years ago.
Were you in Peach Lug at the time, or is that pre-Peach Lug?
That was pre-Peach Lug.
So we might have been there the same day because I was there with Jake.
It's entirely possible. It's
That's
entirely
kinda cool.
possible. And I was just a random adult who was like, "Oh, there's Lego thing. Let me go see that." But yeah, and I think Scott was there. Believe it or not, I think I ran into Scott. Yeah.
Scott. All right, cool deal. All right, so let's switch gears here. Let's get to the main subject here. Tell us the history of New Hashima. Stefan, how it began. Simon, how you got on board. I even talked to Stefan, your friend Peter, over in Alabama, talking about a little bit of the start of that. Talk about how this began.
So my beginning with New Hashima was Simon, you're almost better to say the beginning because the Brolug display from 2013 is really the beginning because like I saw a write-up in 2013 on the Brothers Brick and had like obsessed over that build. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, this is, well, I was a castle builder, right, at that time, but like I was like, man, this is what I want to build. Like I had already accomplished the whatever it is, the winning an Oscar of the castle community by winning the Colossal Castle Best contest. So I was like, I have to move on to something else. I've already conquered this.
No. There's the the Colossal Castle contest king where
Yeah.
you win all.
We're not going to talk about that. But,
Just say.
but yeah, but I had seen that in 2013 and just kind of like knew that that was a style of Lego that I really like was drawn to. But I was working at the Lego store at the time, and I wasn't like really building too actively at the time. And so I just sort of like favorited it away of like, this is a style I want to build eventually. And then I went to Japan a couple times. My wife and I went on a trip, and I was never really into like Japanese culture really well. My wife was more into it, but I was interested to travel anywhere, and we went on a couple of trips, and I got more interested in that. And then, yeah, look at that.
That's Kevin.
Kyle.
There it is.
Freeze. He came out of retirement this year for this. So he it's been what 6-7 years since his last convention, and he showed up.
He was at Brickworld?
He showed up for the reunion tour.
I hadn't seen that guy in forever.
Okay,
Still
don't make
laundering
Chris
money
cry.
out
Make Chris cry.
Oh,
Super nice
sorry.
guy.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
He was the previous Brodad, because I think at that point, he always rented like the van and drove all the kids around, and like literally like they were majority kids. I think that's one of the great achievements about the original Cyber City. It was mainly kids or kids that were like in high school or early university, versus this effort. It was a much more diverse group, which meant like we had a bit more purchasing power, though a bit less time. But back then it was all, like, I think like Chris, Nate, and Carter were the only like adults-ish in the group, and the rest were like pretty much kids, and they filled it up, and that's what was super impressive. And then it's actually kind of funny just looking at some of the images now. It's like it was so big in my memory, but like Stefan and Hashima has completely shattered all concepts of size. Like,
I mean, that build is huge. Like,
it was stupid. We had people inside of it.
Like,
Did someone get trapped in there the whole weekend going, hey, get me out?
Yeah, so there are some fantastic pictures of that where so in the dock section, so we broke it up into basically we have an inner triangle, and then we have 3 sections to make out the sides. One of the sides was basically sci-fi zone, so that I could get a lot of sci-fi builders like a Chris, who would love building sci-fi, or even a Mark, or a Matt, or even a Dana. That didn't happen, but there was a train. Blake Foster, who's not a train guy, built the most ridiculous train ever. But to do that, we need to make sure the train track was aligned. And this is not a normal problem for normal people, because getting a train track laid out and running is pretty simple. When it is up 4 cubes, which is what, 3.5 feet, something like that, that becomes very problematic, because the 2 sides started like bowing for different reasons. Like there's some pictures of me where we knew on day one of the sides screwed up. We fixed that up after like ripping everything up, fixing it, putting it back on. And then there's a second one where there's a picture of me where I'm pretty sure they came to me and be like, we have another problem on the other side. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Look, Jordan captured it. It is perfect, because it's one of those things where like really, we literally did this for the other side. We're having more problems. But there are pictures of Blake, who is, let's say, one of the smallest of the crew, entombed in the middle. So stop right there. All right, let's go up. You can see where Blake was under the tables of O2, which is the center section, tapping to make sure the walls were aligned. Because if the walls weren't aligned, everything else out that. So he has a mallet where the people in front told him where to smack to like try to realign, like these are things like these, Stefan. I don't know if you realize this was happening during our setup, but like the train and the stacks were not working because Lego intuitively does have issues with tolerance. When we stack it that up, it will have tolerance issues.
Yeah.
So if anything is even remotely off, it cascades.
I was like aware it was happening, and I know Blake at one point was building those like struts across.
That was
like,
problem
that was
two.
the only time. That was the only time through that whole problem solving that I came over because I knew where the pieces were that he needed and was handing the pieces. But I saw that y'all had it, and I had other stuff to worry about.
No. But so that was like iteration 2. Oh wait, so scroll up slightly. See it, top left corner. Dana, do you remember what we're talking about here? One down.
I see me.
Yes. We were having a chat. I think it was like the first time we actually chat. This was like Thursday night. Things are looking good. We're chatting, and then Zach on the left and Alec on the right kind of interrupted me, and like we have a problem, and that's literally the
really,
guys.
It's funny because that's exactly what happened. Is like that was like the first time I got to chat with you, and it lasted like 30 seconds, and then they came and dragged you away to some problem. I think I saw you 2 days later.
What was the issue?
Like, I think so. Like this is where we're not. I don't really remember. I think it was the left side was also wrong, and we had to rip that all up.
Yeah,
I remember.
I know y'all had to take
there
the
was
whole bunch
problems.
out. I saw that.
Yeah.
But y'all had like, this was just sort of something I said. I'd like, people were like, "Are y'all worried about problems?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, but we're not a bunch of like bums coming to build this thing.
Yeah.
It's like the best of the best." So it's like there's going to be like 10 people hanging around who are going to be able to figure it out. Like,
Okay, there has to be pictures of Blake Foster in the
I think it's further down. I think it's
They
further down.
definitely are.
But like, what I didn't think about was the problems of running a train that high up in Lego. Because normally trains are like on the table. Maybe sure, like a couple of like the train sat 1, 2, 3. It was on the bottom of the 4th cube, which meant that it all had to be perfect line. And his train was so heavy, he had to design and basically custom build the regulators to power that 9-volt train. There's 4 connection points around each of the areas that he custom built. On top of that, there are 7 motors that powers the 5 train engines or 5 train sections, because they're just so heavy. Like it is bonkers. And part of me is I kind of so I know that certain people here got robbed of art and mosaic, but part of me is like I got robbed of my only chance ever of a train layout. Because I'm never doing that again.
Never say never.
10 years. That's I know you want it sooner, but like 10 years, please.
10 years, yeah.
Well,
and make sure there's more trains, and
what's amazing is that these pictures that you're showing, this was still Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, like it, and actually,
he's still in there.
Yeah,
still in there. Like it.
I mean, it was just mind-numbingly crazy, even before you guys were done. I mean, my brain still couldn't comprehend it once it was done, but just watching it all come together was just insane. Days into it.
Man, it's you're talking about. I hadn't like stepped away from the build in like a long time, and I think like Thursday, I guess it was Thursday pretty late, I like stepped away to use the restroom, and like for like the first time I left the build, like and like I turned around, and, like enough of it was up that I could like see it, and it was like, whoa! Like the first time I'd been more than like 5 feet away from it.
You were too close to the forest. Yeah, you were too close to the trees.
That's when you came back and you're like, everybody, come back over here. Yeah. And you're like 3 tables away, and I'm like,
I was like, you gotta come over here. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was like you got like a sense of the scale of it. Like Thursday after like Thursday evening when it was starting to like really come together, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, this
Every
thing was
time-
like way bigger.
I
than
walked
we
over
thought.
there, it felt like I had just stepped into like one of those college level science Olympiads where like the whole team was like huddled around. We're like, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna see how much weight our machine can lift in the contest.
Yeah.
And I was like, you could feel the creative tension around everybody, and I was like, I'm not gonna interfere. I'm just gonna hang around the periphery.
Yeah. I mean, I was yelling at people to get away.
Well, it's like I get they want to see it close, but we're literally setting it up, guys. Like just let us.
I mean, that's classic though. That's classic though. I mean, because no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, when you're in the middle of the setup, is the time somebody thinks it's appropriate to come over and talk to you.
Yeah,
It happens.
I think I would prep people beforehand that is like somebody needs to be around me, and if somebody comes up and talks to me, needs to tell them to go away. like, because you just can't. Like,
Oh, that train. No, exactly. Like you need to focus, and like it happened to me. Like for the most part, I was pretty good because my parts weren't overly complicated or special until the tail end. But those are like the last finishing touches, and it's like the slopes, getting them all in place. Like we dropped 3 of those slope parts through the course of the weekend. Like one was obliterated, one we repaired, one was like all right, I'm just gonna go away with it and like be fine, and let like those things, like having people help isn't like, because I know where the points to move them are. Like I know where to hold them. So like but like it was that last I don't know if there's video of it, but like that last pressure to get it done before midnight. And I believe Meredith said the final clock time was 10:58, 2 minutes before it was
11,
done.
11:58.
11:58, sorry.
Like,
though our section was done slightly before that, but like getting that all finally put together, that was like people have known me for freaking years, and I'm usually a cool cat. I'm happy. But like I was like full on Stefan mode, and like either you help or you don't, or like I need someone to do this, I need that, or like I shattered a thing and we had to put it back together, or like I broke it. All right, I know how to hide it so that it wasn't noticeable. Like can you guess which pillar didn't actually have a complete slope?
Yeah, it was
rough.
Wild experience. But yeah, it was 11:58 because it's like, I think I placed like the last little monorail section was like not coming together right, and I placed it and like looked around, and I like yelled out like, O2 done, Old City done, 08 done, Doc's done, and it was like a cheer. And I looked at my clock; it was 11:58, like on the 2 minutes of time. Of course, we still had like 1,000 boxes strewn all around.
That's cleaned up. But like,
I felt so bad for the poor. I don't know what his name is. He was really patient trying to put the stanchions up at midnight.
His brick badge said "Grumpy Princess."
Yeah, he was super nice. He was very patient. I thanked him and shook his hand. But
no, I think like, and it's not just the brickwork coordinators. Like the everyone that we kind of were around. Like I had someone do a count. We had 25 extra tables deployed at one point.
Yeah.
That's 25 tables of builds 25 plus table of builds that we managed to essentially stack up into the docks. And like, that's just
wild.
Utterly and wild.
Here's like,
we need to create like a perimeter of the tables with like 2 entrances on like the corners, so like people can't come through, so the tables are like all the way around in the square. But anyway,
there's all the extra tables that we had out that people were working on their builds.
Yeah, like this is like well into like the concession area where we've already taken up all the space in the walkways or the walkways. We're out past that.
It was crazy. We had like a spot of like 4 tables in the like food in the concession area.
That was it. Like we got all the way we took out the entire perimeter around us and into the concession area.
I'll give it to the people who are around us. I mean, I didn't interact with them a whole lot, but they were very patient with us because we were spread out. But I think people, it was like everybody said, it's like people were respecting like what they were witnessing. Like we were going for it, and like we just didn't have time to you know. I apologized to a few people and thanked them for being so patient with us, but. Yikes, we had a lot of stuff going on.
All I see is like the stack, like the 42 sounds like a lot. Wait till it gets up to 72.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
All right. Before, do you think there's going to be, are you guys going to do something bigger? Is there going to be a bigger attempt? Is this the plan? I go,
Simon, you hush.
Because there was a yes here.
2033. 2033. Every 10 years. That's where I think we go hard.
We have a plan with concept art and stuff sketched up to double it. So
where are you gonna get the time to set up something twice the size? Like I feel like we've hit the theoretical max.
Two teams. You have two teams.
We have 4 teams.
Push it together.
So you have 8 teams. You have 2 teams of 4. We may go bigger. We don't know.
A bridge team.
We don't know. Anywho, I think you guys were asking about how new Hashima started, and I was trying to have story time.
I can tell a story if you want.
You could have 2 separate builds and then have like a sky bridge that people could walk under. That would be really cool.
Bingo! Exactly what I pitched to the
GBC Skybridge.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not going to spoil any of that. Join the Discord if you want to be part of the discussion. Oh man.
There's like, I don't know how y'all keep up with that Discord. There's like 78 posts a minute in there. I mean, I just can't keep up.
Mostly Brian posting pictures and videos of monorail.
Yeah. I also
it's been separated based off of the zone you used to be working in. So it used to help pre Brick World. Now it's pockets here and there, but it's so like in my mind, or my thought was like the after Chicago, it's kind of going to be like, all right, we're gonna like dust it off and like we're gonna like put it to bed and come back in a couple of years. But like everyone's like what's the next sector? Let's go. I'm like, I want to get back to building other things and stuff.
Max.
I like Max.
You can build other things, Simon.
I like Max Cotter. We'll build Max.
2033.
2033, yes.
2033. Yeah.
What about Atlanta?
Well, that's going to be a smaller offshoot of. Although, I mean, it's already like 2/3 the size is what we're planning. It's 3 of the 4 sectors, but
so I
at a smaller scale, like.
So for that, I would actually want to like spend some time and effort in thinking on how to do more collapsible, transportable cubes for basically flyers. Because like I know the Europeans want to do something, so like Atlanta's probably. Well, I might actually go to Germany, so that might be my first attempt at a more collapsible topper or. Actually, no, then again, if I should just talk to like one of the mustache pros and ask them how they did it, because like theirs came out fantastic, and I don't know how they got it. It worked.
No idea. A lot of stuff just worked for us. That's another.
It really did. Like so, despite the issues with alignment, like once we got things aligned, docs actually went together very quickly. Like I remember Brickmaster or Brick World Master Casey was like you guys have an hour. I got to go to my lug dinner, and then I got some coordinator duties. So unless you guys do this in an hour, you're gonna have to wait 2 hours. And like we went like ham and got like, bless his heart, he skipped the dinner. I don't know if he even ate. I don't think he ate all week, but like
I was about to say, bless his heart, kiss. But I didn't eat dinner. I didn't go anywhere.
We brought you a lot of food, and if we didn't enough, that's our problem. Like that's part of the. We got to keep everyone going, and the easiest way is just
everybody did what they needed to do to get the build done.
Like, I honestly thought we'd go well into the night. I was stunned. It actually, what? Oh, Casey lost 5 pounds.
I should have weighed before.
Yeah, there is a video of Carter opening his suitcase to see whether or not it survived. Yeah, like there's so many people that had creative concepts of toppers that were able to fly, and I feel like to get this working for maximum efficiency, like we need a very robust way to repopulate things and put it up quickly. Because once the cube is there, it goes really quick. It just stacks.
Yeah.
But it's the repair on that.
I will say my the teal topper, it went in a Thule with some blankets around it.
On a roof rack.
On a roof rack.
Yikes.
Made it.
Made it.
It made it.
Yeah. There were some things that worked out where it slowed us down, like people's stuff who weren't packed so well that came shattered, and it was like, I mean, I don't think you'd be mad. I mean, how Kevin's stuff coming shattered slowed the build down, but Kevin, you know,
Kelly
coming back from, and Kelly, he was coming back from a 13-year hiatus in the community. He had flown from, I don't even know where Kevin's from.
Portland, Seattle, yeah. West Coast.
And he was like so excited to be there. And it was like, my stuff is smashed. I haven't slept for 2 days already. I'll stay up for 2 days to put it on. It's like, how could you tell that guy no? It was like, you couldn't. There was no way I was telling him no. If he was going to stay up for 4 days straight to put that stuff together, it was going on the build, and I didn't care if it delayed the build for a whole day.
It wasn't just delaying the build. It cost us Mahjong.
Yes, it did, and I wanted to play Mahjong so bad.
I was going to say, I've been waiting. My Italian grandmother would never teach me Mahjong, and I'm still uneducated.
We'll play in Atlanta. Atlanta will play Mahjong.
I will bring the Mahjong. Can I fly with Mahjong? Oh, that's really heavy. I'll figure it out.
But yeah, there were just some things that you couldn't plan for, the like problems that you knew were going to come up. It was like that. It was like we were all succeeding together, and if we had to build until midnight Friday, that was we had to do it, and we did. So it was. I have time, and Kevin. It was really funny because Kevin did finally finish around like midnight on Thursday. I think is when it was like 10 p.m. or something Thursday before I was able to set up 08, because really he was delaying my 08 from going in because he couldn't have put his stuff on with 08 in the way. Although actually he could have, because we realized later that you could just walk on 08.
I was gonna say, you had Ben standing in the middle of 08 for an hour.
Yeah, so he could have, but whatever.
I just want to
lost my thought.
I just want to say that when I heard the shout on Friday night at midnight, and someone's like, "Oh, I think they're done," I was like, "You mean they're not going to be working through the night right up until the moment the public comes in?" Like, I was genuinely blown away because I just assumed that it was going to be, quick, turn the lights on, here comes the public, it's 10 o'clock, Saturday morning.
Well, so I don't know if this is a Brick World urban legend or if there's some truth to this, that there were some people in some other lug or contenders to the large collaborative build who were possibly trying to say that, well, if their build isn't done by midnight, they forfeit being able to compete because it needs to be done by midnight. Is there any truth to this urban legend, or
from my understanding, that is the official rule? That said, I'm pretty sure that specific group has crossed that boundary before and have still won. So it's kind of like a guideline. So I think this is actually another important point, that I will be absolutely perfectly honest. Like the Chicago Brick World attendee in me at the end of last year were like let's get together an all-star group of people to like kick Eurobricks butt and like finally knock them off their high horse.
Right.
But then when we actually started doing this, like and Stefan can attest, like we didn't care about awards at all. This is not like so it's almost anticlimactic because in my mind the climax of the whole New Hashima adventure was the World of Lights.
Yeah.
That's what we built it for. Mr. Chris, you missed it, but there was this like kumbaya type moment where we just sat around I hate to say it, I didn't really go around World of Lights at all. Like we just sat around and watched it like a fire pit because it was just like so mesmerizing and like the just
it was an
chatting.
artificial bonfire.
It was an artificial bonfire. Like I remember sitting there.
The party in the hall was there.
Yeah. And then we were all like sitting on the floor, like cross-legged. I remember at one point I was talking to Casey and his mom, and like it was just like such like that was what we did it for. And everything after that was kind of like it didn't matter. Like I'm very happy that we won the awards, but even if we didn't, it didn't matter. Like the original Brick Brolog, the original Cyber City didn't win anything. And we're like, whatever. Like it's at a certain point in your career, like I've done enough. I feel like I've been in the community enough where I've been in like I don't need to really list off my credentials, but I've been around the block.
Okay.
I know a good build when I see one.
Right.
And I know what we did.
Yeah.
And having an award that validates it, great. If it didn't, no. But at the same time, like we need to get some replacements, but like
I didn't end up with a best large AAA outfit.
So what you do is you just get like a piece of paper, you just do it on one of your own awards. Sorry, 2002 Judge Award and Best Mecha 2017. Sorry, Connor.
It's kind of echo what you're saying. It's like I didn't dedicate my whole hobby for the last 4 years to New Hashima to win a trophy. Like we won, and that's awesome, and it was fun for the team to have that moment of like coming in and seeing the trophy. But like, I mean, there was part of me when we were planning it where I was like, we're not even going to enter it for trophies because it's just not what it's about. And that note right there is what it's about. It's just like we were coming to do something crazy and do our best on it, and awards were just.
If you don't know, that's what was in 4 white bricks left for the 4 area managers on Sunday morning.
Same thing at all.
Same note.
So, and Ted, our resident white brick expert, was basically saying that it's normally there is a very specialized mock that they build on site that is relative to the build that you had or the person you were. But in this particular case, like they're thinking like really there's no need to put anything in there because we've literally put everything into this build. And there's like essentially no Lego in there. It's just like what we take away is really not an award. It's not a build. It's not a token. It's honestly the friend. Like the fact that I'm rerouting everyone from Portland to Atlanta because Meredith and Brian are awesome. And I guess some of the other people on the stream too. It really is about the collaborative effort and what we accomplished. And like no award is going to tell me that I was good or bad. Like we knew what we did.
I mean,
what I loved most about it was I have a completely different building style. I'm sorry, Stefan. You showed me a moment. And there are styles in the build, and there, like spaceships and the derelictness and the rundownness and some aesthetics that I just cannot build. And here I am with my friend stuff and friends colors and out there, but it all works together organically, and you're getting so much of kind of like the best of those kind of stylized builds that, again, I couldn't build the slums, but the builders who built them were the best in that style. And like Adrian and his giant ship, I mean, he is a ship god, right? and you are like a sci-fi god, Simon, and Stefan is already the cyberpunk king. So you had so many people that could build so many different styles that would integrate and just make the city so vibrant. I'm still amazed at it. So
yeah, I mean, when you let people in a creative project do the thing that they're passionate about, they bring the best. I mean, it was built into the whole approach. Like, you know, all these sci-fi builders are coming, so Simon, build a huge dock with ships, right? And they're going to build the best dock with ships. Or Michael, who led Old City. That's the vibe of that whole team. Brian and George and all of those guys, a bunch of the guys we had in Virginia, it's like, that's what they like to build. So you let them loose and they're going to build and they're going to do the best because they get to build what they're passionate about. And it just works so perfectly with cyberpunk because it's like all of those things are a piece of the genre, right? So, but anyway, I was going to say, I didn't build it for awards. I definitely built it for those 2 turned into 3 hours of World of Lights. It's until you've seen New Hashima in the dark during World of Lights, you haven't seen New Hashima. Like, all these pictures and videos and stuff are all great. It's just, and somebody said it, I can't remember who in the things, but it's like just the vibes of it at World of Lights. Was anyone there in 2022 when I had it at Brick Fair, Alabama? It was like, I didn't even know because I had never seen it really in the dark. And we turned off the lights, and like a friend of mine was like, "Hey, you should play the Vangelis album during the lights out." And I was like, "Oh, that's a really fun idea." Okay. And I like had just happened to have my like little Bluetooth like pill speaker with me. And I was like, "Cool, I'll play that." And it was like I had my camera and video all set up to take pictures, and like the lights went out, and everybody was just like, "What is this?" It was like everybody was crowding around it, and me too. I was like, whoa, it's like this.
So like I remember Brick Fair because like we still had the stanchions up and Jordan and I were basically on photo duty in Brick Fair, and I felt so uncomfortable because it was so hot because there was so many people like behind me trying to like take pictures and such. And like the this year, like the part of me is like it goes against kind of like my moral being to like push people out, but like we basically created like stadium seating for the collab people to sit and watch. And like I do feel bad. It was and we did let people in and out to like take close-ups and stuff, but like it was I vividly remember Brick Fair being so uncomfortable. Like I put my mask back on because there's so many people like literally breathing down my back when I was trying to take the pictures. And this year, like I was so intent on bringing all my, did I get all my Lego? Did I get all like the extra pieces? I completely forgot my camera. Like I spent the first couple of days plotting and looking at camera stores to see, do I just go buy a new camera? Because this is like the one time we're ever going to do this. And I didn't end up doing it. It actually turned out great because I wasn't on photo duty. Like I could just enjoy instead of like thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Casey's friend. Thank you, Blake. Thank you. I think Brian also had a camera. Like they took the cameras, took the pictures when I could just enjoy it. And that's different and rare.
That was so awesome that we had all of them. Huge thank you. I know the other guys who took pictures and stuff, but huge thank you to Taylor who flew out from Vegas just to film it for free. Like that's the wildest thing. That's like the thing about
that's a great roll back, tell the Taylor story.
So yeah,
Taylor?
We had this guy Taylor. Anybody who was there saw the guy with all of the like photo equipment and stuff. And I was talking about it earlier about how stuff just like worked out for us. Like a few months 4 months before the show, a guy randomly reached out to me, Taylor, and was like, "Hey, I'm a professional videographer in Vegas. I collect Lego minifigs and stuff, and I just love cyberpunk. If you're ever setting it up again, I would love to come out and video it." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "We happen to be setting it up in a few months in Chicago. If you want to come, are you available to come?" And I was like, "Please." And he was like, "I'll be there." And man, that Taylor showed up, like brought all his equipment, borrowed equipment from a friend who was close to the area, and just filmed him.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought it was all his stuff.
No, there was some stuff that was like too big for him to carry on the plane that he had borrowed from a friend who lived there. he had the equipment, but couldn't bring it, so he had like arranged it. But yeah, but him, I mean, everybody, Jordan too, killed it, like documenting it, and Jordan again at Brick Fair, Virginia. I know you took a lot of pictures too, Simon.
No,
Jordan was
he
there for like
way
4
more, way
hours,
more.
like overnight one night, taking pictures. But yeah, it was just, again, the Taylor thing was just like so cool that works out, and I can't wait to see more of the footage that he's putting together for us. But it was wild how the effort, I mean, everybody put in, and just how perfectly everything worked out, because there's like so many things that could have gone wrong with that build. Like, it just worked. Like, it was like we planned it. We planned it.
It was magic and organic. Like, just, you know, I'm a little biased, but like in 02, just how all the skyscrapers looked against each other, building up to kind of a mountain in the center. It was like, did we plan this? No, we didn't. I knew I wasn't building tall. Other people were building tall, but it worked. It looked like an organically built skyscraper mountain. It was just blind mountain.
I'm afraid to ask this question, and because it probably would spawn an entire hour-long conversation. But do you feel that? I mean, because Stefan, you've done your bit several times, and I know that even when we had you here in Atlanta last year, you were, you know, going crazy all the way up to, you know, the last hour you could finish building to be ready to have it on display for Saturday morning. After going through this whole chaos scenario for Chicago, you've reached a level of some way of knowing how to make this all happen quicker, or is it just going to always be ad hoc, organic process no matter what?
I mean, yeah, we've definitely worked out some stuff. I mean, setting it up, 5 times, I guess, if you include Chicago in the last 4 years, has definitely helped. I mean, a lot of stuff like wiring stuff, like Atlanta was a good test bed for like prepping all of my wiring so that it could just plug straight in instead of like cutting jumper cables like in there. I mean, I bring my whole electronics toolkit with me in case I do, and I did have to do a little bit of it. But yeah, there's no way we could have set it up in the time we did if we hadn't have had that experience from Virginia, and then my experience from the other times, like iterating on it and improving the setup and stuff. And like I used to, I mean, for 08, I used to set up the 32 base plates. It's like 8x8, 32 base plates that make up 08. Like I used to set up each of those plates one by one and then stack them at the end of the show. But that, like, I finally realized that I can't do that. Like, so I actually have them like screwed into the table, like all of those base plates, and like holes cut through. I mean, and this is going to spawn like a whole long conversation. I just like finally decided that, like, I think it was seeing it at 2022 Alabama was like, this is like, and I don't mean to like toot my own horn or anything, but it's like this is really cool. Like, this is really special. Like the crowd, like people like it, and people were reaching out. Like Simon was reaching out to me, like people who I had respected in the community for a long time, like saying, like, man, this is really neat. Like
I reach out to everyone.
Well, yeah, you do. I get that.
I mean, that's what I mean. I saw the 2021, and even though it was, you know, the smallest version you had, I'm just like, this is awesome. And you said, I'm gonna have a standard, and I'm like,
I had built the standard. I wrote the standard from the beginning. Yeah. I built one cube and presented it to my club, and I had already written that overview document to present it to the club because I was inspired by the Bro Lug build, and the Bro Lug build was a collaborative, and I always wanted it to be collaborative.
It's very fragile.
So I wrote the standard from the beginning, the very beginning. I never built without it being part of the standard and assumed that it was a collaborative effort. And that's, again, I put it in my Instagram, but Peter Bradbury from Magic City Lego Users Group was the one member for Magic City Lego Users Group that joined me. And he's, I mean, besides me, the longest running new Hashima contributor, because his modules have been on the builds every single time because I borrow stuff from him every time I set it up. So his builds were under the water layer under Old City. Some like 9 of those base plates were his that he's had built since 2002 from Alabama. So again, I always knew I wanted to be a collaborative. Like I changed my whole hobby to build new Hashima. Like, so I, you know, I'm going off of what your like question was, but yes, we've improved the setup. But I think it's come up in some of the other things. And again, I'm going to get long-winded here, but I want to like clear the record here. It's like, how do you build new Hashima and how do you do it in 55 hours? Simon knows, and some of the other guys know, you have to have a core group of guys who are 100% dedicated. Like, and I'd take Brian and Meredith too. Brian building those tables, it's, you can't just build new Hashima as like a regular lug collab. Yeah. I mean, you could, but like you have to have a Simon and you have to have a Stefan. It like, and I get
and a Brian and a Meredith,
a Mike and a Meredith. You have to have.
Hey,
this, like,
are these water bottles halfway full? They're done. They're gone.
But anyway.
We can refill it. We have the technology.
Well, what's interesting is kind of what you're saying, and to recap and give that understanding perspective is that, for example, Moonbase has always been an ad hoc, bring it in, drop it down, you bring whatever you got and you're done, you go. And it works kind of, but it doesn't have the polish of something what you guys have done, which is, it's everything. You guys knew where things were supposed to go before you got there. There had to be that level of planning, because there's no way you guys could have come in there with these, 70 plus builders saying, oh, well, just put it wherever, it'll fit. No, it required that dedication that you guys project managed the crap out of.
Yeah, it was.
It's amazing.
It was a wild ride.
I gotta throw that up.
There's tons and tons of planning, and it was a collaborative effort that's been, 10 years in the making and 4 years in the making. The real magic is most of Prolog stayed out of jail for over a decade. I love how it's most.
Somebody, we missed somebody?
There should be a Brolog's most wanted for the people.
Yeah, a standard. You have to write a good standard. And Prolog made the standard, and I put it into paper, and wrote the whole thing out. That document was because I only presented it to my local lug first, Magic City Laker Users Group, and I knew that all of Magic City Laker Users Group wasn't going to have the cyberpunk knowledge, wasn't going to be as obsessed with the Brolug build as me or whatever, and that I was going to have a way to get to control it, I guess, control the content of it to make it match the vision, right? And it was a way for me to be able to explain it to people and get more buy-in from people.
Have you gotten people, because I know there's the Discord and the different channels and the different threads for the different specifics, and I know that when any one of the builders comes in there, they have to present it to the community, and that you guys, you and Simon have the last blessing of whether it fits or not. Did you have anybody who got snippy because they didn't like the criticism or critiquing?
Nope, that's baked into the standard. I have this really long document that I send to everybody,
which I've read.
You have read? Okay.
Did everyone read? Matt, I watched last week.
I mean, I developed it up into Brick Fair, Virginia, right? And then Simon and I, very early when we were first starting the project, sat down and looked at it too. And Simon gave his 2 cents and basically rewrote it for Brick World, Virginia. And it's one of the first things of the rules for participating is no one is above criticism. The whole, we're developing builders as part of our thing. That's one of the goals is that you come into New Hashima and you never leave, but you become a better builder because you were in there, because no one's above criticism. Anybody can speak their mind. And we had criticisms where it was but people changed. I mean, that document is really a thing that it explains how seriously we're taking it. Right. So it was whoa, these guys have taken time to write this 40-page. It's not 40 pages. I'm exaggerating, but
so it kind of alleviated the tension from people of getting butthurt because somebody was going to criticize them. It's check your ego at the door.
Yes and no. So the one thing I did notice, a lot of people were very hesitant to post their work in progresses because they looked to see who was on the roster and they got extremely intimidated, where to the point was this is the whole point, is the show us whatever,
right?
and we will help get you where you are. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter that Simon is there or Stefan's there or Nanon's there. Like, the whole thing was just post.
Right.
And I still had a lot of people, like, even like very late in the game, was hesitant to post their whips because they were intimidated by the group and didn't understand the whole point of it is this is the most welcoming group that I can make and control to a reasonable amount. It's like
Damned my work in progress.
Yes, and it was fantastic, and we loved it. And like
I like feedback. I got in the habit because I always send my stuff to Martin, and Martin critiques it. So maybe I'm just like, and then at the end, it was just like I couldn't make decisions. So I'm just like, here's 3 different versions. Y'all voted it.
Yeah, no, but there were definitely folks that were intimidated to post their whip.
Maybe they're used to watching old gray bricks because we don't tolerate poor building and we will criticize it as harshly and repetitively as we can. So maybe that
which is fine, but we'll tell you what's wrong and how to make it better.
That's the key. Was never just like it's bad. If you typed up it was bad, we would have criticized your criticism, right?
Yeah.
We told them this is what works, this is what doesn't, and this is what we change, right? So, and again, that was just baked into the standards. That was the whole thing. It's like in there. Nobody's above criticism. You should come in expecting criticism. Simon's right. Some people were like hesitant to post whips, right? But we also had that document as a fallback. If somebody did wait to the last minute and did do something, like we had deadlines, we had which we extended a bunch of times, but there was all of that structure for those situations if they had come up. But and they did, unfortunately, some of them, but you know, because of the vibe of the thing, even the people who were told no or whatever or disappointed still showed up, still contributed, and still showed like insane character and dedication to the collab, right?
That's
because
awesome.
It's just the attitude. Awesome. It's just the attitude of the group. Like again, it's like I said, but it's like we were all going to succeed together no matter what. So it was, I don't know, it was extremely special.
You didn't have all those builders with the people that could do all the different sectors. It wouldn't be as beautiful as it was.
It took the different creativity to really make that happen, and that's key. That's really key. But I guess to reiterate what Stefan's saying is that having that document to direct people in the right direction, even with different building styles and different aesthetics, but still having that foundation was key to make that all work. So I think that's cool.
And again, that was sort of by accident. Like I said, I wrote it forever ago, but I wrote it for Magic City Lakers users group, and I knew the group wasn't like big cyberpunk nerds, so I had to have a way to like explain it to them, like so, and it just kind of worked out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, you develop something for 4 years, that stuff's gonna happen. And again, Simon knows like it took an insane level of buy-in from the admins, like so. But it was the energy around the show and the build was just insanely fun. I loved it. I'll be chasing that for forever.
That's a high you can't compete with at this point.
Yeah, worth all of the sacrifice, because like I said, I've completely transformed my whole hobby into new Hashima. So it was awesome to get that like validation.
You gonna build some figs for ABC?
Yeah.
Let's expand the Mean Girl pack.
We need to get you a jersey.
Can I get her a jersey?
Yeah.
Well, no, only if she builds more figs.
She built the girl gang, is that right?
20 minifigs.
Intimidating people outside of the mall. I thought that was her.
Maybe 21, one more.
Okay, can you build some more minifigs and I'll get you a jersey? Can you say goodnight? I gotta put her to bed.
Okay, good night.
Well, we're almost at an hour 30, and I feel like we really didn't hardly scratch the surface.
We didn't talk about anything.
Yeah, I know, but that's cool, and maybe we'll do this again. And everything. We'll talk about it, but yeah, we probably need to land this plane. Thank y'all for being here. I mean, super impressed. We came up with stuff like Moonbase standards and classic cassette standards, 20 years ago or something like that. but this is the new standard of awesomeness. I love that you guys you baked in excellence. You baked in all this community into it, and it wasn't an overnight thing. It's been developing for a long time. And the pictures, while I understand don't do it justice, were absolutely amazing. Somebody posted earlier that New Hashima was 50 to 75% of the FOMO they experienced, and I will agree. I wanted to stand there because Mark and I remember in Alabama, the last Alabama show, we stood in awe of what was there and the reflections in the pool and the lights and everything like that, and completely inspiring. So I can't imagine what you guys wrought in public, in person, and everything, but just so amazing, so great. And thank y'all for being here tonight, hanging out with us, and old friends. This helps my FOMO a little because this is like just hanging out at the convention, goofing around, talking, and all that kind of stuff. So that helps out. Thank y'all for being here tonight. If you're new, because of these hosers being here, is it okay? I'm sorry, Simon. We call Jeff Van Winnen a hoser all the time. Is that okay?
That is fine.
You go with that. Okay. I just want to make sure. Anyway, so we thank y'all. Hit the likes, hit the follows, all those kind of things. We really don't care, but we would love to have them. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Be awesome and build awesome. Have a good night, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, I gotta get